Hello, Cleveland, and everyone from everywhere else. Welcome to your 10-minute TA for Sunday, April 27th, 2025. Here for the weekly candle close. It just closed about 2 hours ago. And before we dive in, please give me a like, a subscribe. It would really help out the channel, get it in front of some more viewers. And as a thank you for doing that, here's a cute penguin sliding down a hill. Yeah, like that. All right, let's dive into these charts. So, how'd the week close, huh? Let's turn this volume down a bit. And let's take a look at the week close. As always, we'll be reading off from up here. These numbers right there. This week closed. Well, it opened at $85,057. It reached a high of about $10,000 higher than that at $95,871. A low of $85,057.40. The low was the open. And the close for the week was $93,787. Open to close, the week gained 10% and $8,000 of price. Good job, week. Great week. That was a great week. Great week for sure. So now what are we looking for? Well, I already moved this, but let me back it up a little. Back. There you go. I was looking at this before. So this bear flag that we had going on in here, well, it's not quite invalidated yet. To invalidate, we would need to see it break over or flip the 786. That's my go-to for invalidation. And we have broken over it. We've opened a weekly candle over it. Now the question is, can we close the weekly candle over that 786 retracement level? That would be here at $91,812. So if we can see a close by the end of the week, a week is pretty long though. A lot can happen in the week. But if we can see a close over that level, then we can say this bear flag is gonzo, and all we're left with is this bull flag. Now, if we can't close over that, then our bear flag is still there. We just got to adjust it a bit. Our top of the bear flag, the resistance of the bear flag goes up like that, and our measured move of the bear flag goes up there as well. Let's make all of the bear flag stuff red so it's more visible, more easily visible there. So yeah, we'll make all y'all red. There we go. So yeah, if the measured move did come up from there, we would just be moving back down to about 76,233, right around our previous bottoms there. Not a lower bottom, but possibly not a higher bottom. But then again, we might not reach that low. We might come, down to this 382. Correlates to this 382, right around 86. So yeah, if we, come back to that 382 or even this 0.5 fib retracement, if we find support there or here, then we're still putting in a higher low. And that would be a reversal of our pattern, like we've been showing on the daily chart for a little bit now. Our pattern here, downside pattern, lower lows, lower highs, could be broken. We haven't seen a higher high, not here on the weekly yet. But if we do see a lower or a higher low, well then, hey, that's telling us that the trend is reversing. Now, hopefully, this week can just shoot up higher. We can get that higher high before we see a higher low. But if not, then, the higher low would suffice to tell us that the trend is reversing. And then where's the trend going to go? Well, let's look at our bull flag. Our high target is 150. Our low target, and the low target comes from here instead. Like if you drew the bull flag like that, the low target would be to about 119, 120-ish. All right. Like we talked about yesterday, bouncing off the 50, this yellow or orange line there. It's this bull cycle has been our kind of like signal that things are going to shoot up. Every time we've bounced off that 50, we've seen some massive gains coming afterwards. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen again, but the bull flag is the bull flag is. But that doesn't have to happen. It's not necessarily what's going to happen. Now, granted, look, we've seen the peak of our RSI here on the weekly, seen our next price peak with a lower RSI peak. Now, that's what usually happens during a bull run. We'll scooch back here to the last one. We'll see that our peak actually happened in RSI. Our RSI peak here when we first broke over our previous all-time high. Here's our previous all-time high. We first broke over it, well, more so over here. But we peaked slightly after that, RSI-wise. Then we had this little movement down. We came up again. But look, when we came up here and had our price peak, our RSI was lower. And then we came down here into our summer doldrums. Came back up, even put in a higher high. But RSI kept on putting in them lower highs. So just because we're seeing lower highs on RSI doesn't mean that the bull run's over. But let's compare where this is, where our RSI is currently, to where it was here. So it did get below there during the summer. So, hey, possibly we get higher up. See? Look, our RSI got that low, just like it did here in the summer. But it also got that low right before we continued down trending into the bear market. You see? And it never came back up again. We had our one high, and then it kind of trended down, and then came back up. And look, we kind of already had that. We had our one high, trended down, came back up, put in a higher high. So I'm not saying that it's the end, but pattern-wise, if we're looking at the RSI, suggesting that this might be the end of the cycle, of the bull cycle, versus the middle doldrums. Those could have been happening right around here in like of last year. Possibly. If that was the case, then this cycle's been extended quite a bit. Honestly, I don't know. No one really knows what's going to happen. All I know is I'm watching the charts. I'm looking at patterns. Yeah. Now take a look here at the Stokes, right? Let's take a look at the end of the last cycle. The Stokes also had a nice big run up, but the price action didn't run up with it. The RSI also stopped short, putting in a new higher high. I mean, here it did, right? Not like here to here, but here to there it did. So let's see if we can find higher highs again. If not, then we're probably heading to the downside, and this is probably the end of the bull cycle. Y'all should have been selling over the past few months. I hope you were. All right. So what are we on the weekly chart here? We're pensively bullish. We're still looking for, this bear flag to still play down. Maybe put in that higher low that we were talking about to then send us higher. But we are seeing some signals that say this could be the end of the bull cycle too. We're just going to have to watch and see what happens. All right. Let's take a quick peek at our normal time scales. I'm going to do this real quick as I can. See, we got under 94. 94 is no longer holding as support. We'll see that here on the 90-minute chart. 94 no longer holding as support. We've fallen under it. And yeah, it looks like we're going to Bart Simpson. I mean, we might not. Our fib retracement for this bull flag. Take it to the top, actually. Like that. Way down here past 90. Yeah, I mean, move this over. That's our bull flag. It's still a bull flag. If we can find support here, put in a higher low, hey, maybe we're going to keep going up. Our Stokes are pretty oversold. Our RSI is pretty low, but we're not seeing any bullish div. I mean, there is technically bullish div here. So from way back here, we've got some, make you green. And let's take a look like that. So make it easier. There you go. There's our higher low with, no, what am I doing? That's just higher lows. That's confluence, not bullish div. What was I looking at? Oh, it was this one. There we go. This one showing higher lows on price while the RSI is showing lower lows. Now, did I get rid of that because there was a bullish or bear div on here as well? There was a bear div as well, and that's why I got rid of that. Okay, so we'll just leave that off because there is a bear div as well. Lower highs, higher highs. So those are just counteracting each other. We are still in a bull flag though. And as long as we stay over 90, we'll be in that bull flag. We're still over the 200. So I remain bullish. But, you know, we got to look for those pullbacks. Pullback might be coming. How low? Well, as long as it doesn't get under 86, our bull flag here on the 6-hour chart stays valid as well. Of course, our measured move would have to be moved down to around there, let's just say. But our bounce back up would bring us up to 96 once again. Not as high as we would like to see, but it is what it is. Got that bearish div there, showing us some, further downside coming. No real bullish divs, nothing like that. There's a hidden bullish div here, sort of. As long as it's potential, as long as price action stays up here and puts in a higher low, then there's a hidden bullish div here. If that stays, so we'll see that in the next couple. We'll see if a low can form here. If it can, then good. We'll see the bullish div. We'll get rid of the bearish div, and then bull flag's still in play. But if not, then if the price action continues to go lower and puts in a lower low, well, then that bull div goes away. Right now, we're looking at a pullback. Could stop here, though. We're looking at a pullback, but it could stop here. You know the daily. We've looked at it for a little bit now. You know what I'm projecting. Pullback, higher low, then further upside. That's what I want to see happen. Granted, if we see a lower low, like we've been talking about, then most likely bull run is over. All right, I'm going to jump out of here and say thank y'all so much for watching. You are amazing. Keep that ish up. Much love, and I'll see you tomorrow.